Alright, stream is up. So let's recap. Last time on Dragon Ball Z, we had made our way back to Marcellus, and they did the ritual, and it worked on everyone else except for him. And then he ran off when you pushed him for trying to submit, or at least to get answers out of him for why. The rest of the individuals then fled to go back to the fort, and you gave them a message to relay about that. And I believe at the time everyone was preparing to start tracking Marcellus and try to hunt him down.
That's the goal.
All right, so Marcellus has fled. You have sent everyone on their way back to the fort to report what's happened. And you are now in the process of attempting to find the trail to chase after Marcellus.
Be survival, right?
Yes.
I have a +1 in it, if anybody has any better.
I've got a 5.
For what? Oh, survival.
Yeah.
I have a 6. I can do survival things.
Alright.
Okay,
We
where to
shall
go?
nominate you and assist in whatever capacity that we can.
There you go.
Okay. You have found the trail. You can determine that it is in fact Marcellus because of your keen observational skills and tracking capabilities compared to the other individuals. And you can see that he has headed off to the southwest. And if you want to continue the chase, you may do so.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's because survival is all-encompassing. Generally, if you can live in a city without modern conveniences, you can probably make it in the forest at the end of the day. You just have to get used to your area.
Well, I mean, I have pretty keen perception skills, so survival and understanding how to track things would probably just be second nature to me.
Okay, well, shall we get going then?
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, so let me get a fancy color here. Hold on. All right, so you are here at the camp. And Marcellus head this way. So you're tracking him now. He's got a little bit of a head start, but not a whole lot. But because he's able to, be an animal, right? He has the capacity of traveling at a decently quick pace. So you spend roughly about, let's call it an hour chasing. You're not gaining ground on him, but you can determine that he's still moving at the same pace. And he doesn't appear to be getting farther away because the freshness of the tracks are not degrading. So you reach the first, let's call it, point at which the tracks turn. Probably somewhere around this vicinity here. And the tracks then start to head to the north. Let's go ahead and roll a survival for me again.
Yep. Anybody want to assist?
I will.
So advantage or just a bonus?
We'll give it a bonus.
Okay. I'll let you do that math. There's my roll.
Yeah. So you can tell that, yes, he did in fact turn and head north. And that he doesn't show any immediate sign of fatigue. So you continue the chase to the north. Takes you a couple hours now to basically make it to the river. And upon reaching the river, you find an area following the tracks where he must have used some kind of animal-like form to leap across an area that you wouldn't have been able to. And at least a human jump wouldn't have been able to reach. And then the rest of the distance across the river. So you can attempt to make this jump should you want to, or you can try to detour probably about a half an hour to the west to go around.
How big is the gorge?
Well, it's a river.
Or how wide is the river?
At this particular point, it is probably about 20 foot across. But the distance of jump that you're looking to span is probably about that distance, as you're not able to really land on small, rocky, outcropping objects like a cat-like creature would be able to spring off of. So you'd have to try to jump the entirety of the river.
Okay. Well, I know one of us can get over there with ease. And I can get over there by myself as well pretty easily.
How deep is it?
It's probably about 15 feet deep in the middle. And the current is strong enough that you would probably have some trouble. Especially if you're still wearing your gear.
Hey, real quick, it's not showing like literally any of my third level spells. Does anyone have an idea why that might be a thing? I'm only asking because I was trying to see if maybe I can come up with a solution. But
You might have the levels to have third level spell slots, but you might not actually have the levels to learn a third level spell.
oh, that's the thing though, is my spell slots are third level, but I have levels to learn third level spells. Like as a warlock with 5 levels, I know third level spells. The only one it's showing is my one invocation. And then yeah, it's legit not showing any of my warlock spells.
Don't warlocks only... well... it's been a while since I played
Hold on,
Lock.
maybe I fucked something up in my character update. It reset all my fucking known spells, that's why.
I mean, if I go into your spells, I see them.
So why is it not showing for me? That's stupid. Fantastic, yay.
Yeah, I see your third level one of Bestow Curse.
Yeah. That's the only thing I can see. What is going on here? Because I would like to avoid this happening again in the future.
I don't really have an answer. I'm not sure.
What level is your warlock? You said 5th?
5, yeah. I'm trying to remember what all my cantrips are. Except, I mean, I want to have the exact same shit that I did before, but I don't remember what all I had.
Well,
Yeah,
your
you should have...
cantrip, I see Chill Touch, Dancing Lights, Eldritch Blast, Friends, Mage Hand, Prestidigitation, Vicious Mockery.
That might be where all your spells are, because you have 3 cantrips known, but you have 6 spells known in total.
Well, that's the thing, is it like it's showing nothing attached to my Warlock class levels. Like, it shows all my class features from Warlock, but it doesn't show any of my spells that I learned from it.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is that normally warlocks only have 3 cantrips known, and you have
Right.
1, 2, 3. You have 6 known.
I should have a lot more because I have some from Wizard. I have my 1 feat that I picked up. And then I should also have
what
all
wizard
the base cantrips.
what wizard class do you have, or what
I-
wizard level?
I do not have a wizard level. I picked
Oh.
up the feat spell sniper and I picked up chill touch.
Okay.
And it off of the wizard spell list.
Okay.
Right, and that's on there.
I should have 3 cantrips from my pact boon because I packed the tome, which I'm seeing as Eldritch Blast Friends and Vicious Mockery. Those
Mhm.
are all not part of and count as Warlock cantrips known.
Right. So I see a total of 7 cantrips. So 1 from the spell snipe
Yes.
and the other 6. So that looks to be correct
Yes.
because 3 are from Pact Boon.
Right. And the rest are from Rogue.
If it's not showing up on D&D Beyond, try logging out completely of D&D Beyond and logging back in.
Yeah, because I should have 3 other cantrips on that list. Yeah, let me just. Yeah, let's sign back in. That's usually like I'm sorry that I'm making a big deal out of this, but like that's usually my main thing is like trying to use magic to come up with a solution.
If you guys like, I
Fine.
can just ferry us across one at a time.
I mean, I was thinking that if Ash has the ability of wild shape again, she could turn into something that can fly, and we can give her a rope, and then she can transform back, tie it off onto a tree, and then I can Misty Step over there, I think. And
There's a ring of water walking.
you do have that too. I forgot
Literally
about that.
just carry you all across.
Oh, my knight in shiny armor, carry me.
You see this puddle? I'll just carry you across.
I completely forgot that you had that ring.
Well, I could probably carry 2 of the small angry ones. Give me a big ass sack. I want to see how many I can.
Just like literally turn into some sort of large animal and we could just walk across them like a log. Or they could ferry us across.
We got too many options.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm gonna sit over here and figure out what the hell happened to my character sheet, and y'all can use one of the umpteen other options we have. Take a vote. I'll go with whatever wins.
Azzy carrying people across sounds pretty cool.
Ash is immediately repulsed by this idea, and she just goes into a raven wild shape and just goes to the other side and sits on a tree branch completely fluffed out.
I saw that coming.
What, couldn't shapeshift into anything bigger? Like, oh, I don't know, a fucking griffin and carried someone
You're the
else
one who
across?
wants to fucking carry everybody across the river. Have at it.
I'm imagining all I hear is tweet.
Technically, ravens can mimic speech, so I could just fucking cuss you out as much as I want to in raven form.
I don't know, you're probably not intelligent enough in raven form to do that.
I am.
no.
Fuck off.
She is. Maintains all them faculties and swear words real good.
I do bring over a rope though, to help steady Azzy as he is coming through, just as a kind of a failsafe.
Okay, cool. So yeah, as you're walking across casually, like it's no big deal. Just give me some strength check for each person you carry over to make sure you don't have a spasm. Let's say.
Don't worry
Okay.
about me. I'll get over on my own.
So you
Piggyback ride.
basically need to carry Castor and Talia. Okay. So Castor is okay.
Okay. And I was waiting until everyone else went. So do your thing. Because
Alright,
depending on what
so-
happens, I might be jumping in the water.
Nat 1.
So you may have felt this, kind of twinge in your leg as you're striding carefree across the surface of the water, and it causes you to kind of buckle your knee and kind of dump Talia. It causes you to buckle your knee and dump Talia off the side of your shoulder.
Oh,
Sweet.
God, there's a fucking rope there.
So, Talia, if you want to try to give me a dex save as a reaction here, and see if you can grab
Hold
the rope
on.
fast enough.
Just hold on to my foot. It's fine.
Remember that part where I was afraid of the ocean? Now would be a good time to mention I can't swim.
No, we figured that out.
Okay.
Deck save. Only a 12.
You were
Shit.
able to grab the rope.
It's a good thing we gave Learn the Water Walking to a sailor, right, guys?
So you're currently grabbing onto the rope, holding on for dear life while the current is dragging you a little, but not at such an intensity that you're really panicked. But you're panicked anyways because you're in the water.
I pick her back up.
You can, yes.
Do you want another strength check?
No, I assume you're capable of being able to pick her back up from the rope.
Okay. Do you want another strength? Can I just make it across now?
No, Talia.
Not even a short.
No.
We were
basically,
immediate.
Yeah, you left
Gotcha.
from there and showed up from what's-his-face's place. You went and showed up at, yep.
Just making sure, because I want to make sure I got my spell slots right. I think I got my spell list recomposed correctly now.
Fair enough. So you lost about 20 gold in the shuffle.
Who?
Talia, you lost 20 gold in the shuffle of being dropped into the water, catching yourself, and then making your way back into the arms of an angel. And it wasn't a payment. It was definitely in the river.
I mean, thank God I didn't lose the other 650, but
Yep. I mean, them's the breaks, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
I believe I rolled a nat 1 on my highest fucking on my highest score. God damn it.
But see, now Junie is planning on how to deprive me of my other large amounts of gold. I hear you plotting.
I don't have to. It's just, it's the nature of how that shook out. Literally.
Everybody across now?
Well, Koval, you're going to make your way over now?
Yeah. I make sure that everyone has made it fine, that no one else falls in the water, and then I just teleport the 20 feet over with Misty Step.
There we go.
Fucking sorcerers.
People think you're so fucking cool with your magic and shit.
I mean, the other way I could have done it if I had taken the spell was have done Thunderstep. Really made an entrance.
I use prestidigitation to make Azzy's hair stand on end.
Ash fluffs out her feathers and mimics magic and shit.
Magic and shit.
Thanks,
All
Caster.
people should know.
I got the cleric on my side. Fuck the rest of you. All right. Can you pick up the trail again?
Yep. Go ahead and give me a survival
Can
check.
I? Are you gonna make fun of magic and shit again? Hmm?
I'm gonna make fun of magic and shit every chance I fucking get. Please believe it. Till the day I learn how to fucking Eldritch blast somebody, it's gonna be a thing.
I'll assist Talia still with tracking the tracks.
Please assist.
I said I did.
So you're able to make out the direction of the tracks and where they're headed, but you're a little hazy from the incident that just occurred. So you at least have a general direction of where you're supposed to be going, but you don't have a super keen grasp on the actual trail.
In what general direction is he heading?
The footprints are going north and slightly to the east. So you feel like maybe he's making a circle back or is rotating back towards the north instead of heading west like he was trying to ditch you.
Azzy, what's to the north of us?
More river.
Anything of interest beyond that?
Nothing on the maps.
Interesting. Okay. Well, let's continue on and see if we can pick his trail back up.
So
Lies down
tracking or
Locris's head and just says magic and shit. Just real quiet.
And shit.
I chuckle a little bit. Yes, magic and shit.
All right, so you begin the chase yet again, heading north.
Eastish.
Yeah, north, slightly eastish. And you come across a fork in the river.
Okay.
Time of day is it?
Well, it was daytime when you left. No, I'm sorry. It was. So maybe you have had a rest, Talia. Now I'm thinking about it because you didn't fight. Oh no, we had the troll battle. That's where. Okay. Because you rested outside of what's his face's place. Then you made your way down into the woods. Then we ran.
we
into
had
the
our
trolls.
confrontation with the lycanthropes, then we ran into the trolls at some point.
Well, you ran into the trolls before the lycanthropes when we were
Right.
heading down.
Yeah.
So that's right, this
Um,
is directly after lycanthrope confrontation.
Right.
Correct.
Right. It was dawn at the trolls. Lycanthrope confrontation was a little after, morning, late morning to noon. Now chasing, it's getting to be late midday, late day. So you still have a couple hours before the sun starts to set. And you are now at the fork.
And this is just where the footprints stop, I take it? Or
Well, yeah, I mean, the tracks basically stop here because you've reached the river fork. And you have to figure out where they go from here. So if you want to check to get an assessment on the tracks to figure out if there's a direction where they might have headed across the river or anything like that, you can do so.
what's the moon phase?
It's still not quite full moon yet.
It's close.
So it will not be full moon tonight.
Correct.
Can
So another survival check to see which way things are going.
well, No, I guess we have to figure out which side of the fork he took first before we have to locate Prince to follow before we can actually track.
Oh.
If that's what I'm understanding.
Well, they've come to the fork, but you aren't able to determine from where you're at the fork which direction he may have gone around the fork. Like, he could have gone east, he could have gone north, he could have headed to the west once he crossed. So you basically have to try to discern as best you can from where you are what direction he may have gone or leapt, and then try to retrack upon the other side to determine where the tracks then go, assuming that you picked the right side.
Okay, so first step, does anyone in this party know some form of divination that might be able to help us?
Technically,
Cough.
yes.
Cleric or druid?
I mean, I feel like that's a potential thing. It's a natural creature that you are familiar with its form, sort of, at this point. So you theoretically would be able to determine if it was within the radius.
Oh yeah, like your detect creatures or locate creatures, plants, or whatever the fuck that druidy thing is that you do.
Yeah, I could use.
And just
what
ask about where pumas. 'Cause I'm sure he's like the only one within a few miles.
Yeah, okay. So, Ash will step out of her wild shape and cast locate plants and animals.
Okay. So you are able to determine the location of what you are seeking has gone to the east.
Looks like he's doubling back.
What time of day did you say it was? It's getting late.
Yep.
I really don't want to be in these woods after dark, but we have no choice. Especially tracking down someone like this guy.
Yeah, we're gonna have no choice in the matter.
Alright, so let's get us over the river and through the woods.
All right, so this is not as deep or as wide. So people are able to actually cross this without assistance. And you continue to then chase after your target. And as you proceed to the east, the target has seemed to turn again. And they are now heading this way. As you continue to follow them, it starts to get a little bit more towards the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And dusk is starting to come upon you when you reach the river again. You can tell that the target is across the river, somewhere in this vicinity, and they appear to have slowed movement.
Due to exhaustion or
You are not able to tell at this time. You simply know that
Might be setting a
location-
trap for us.
the location of the individual is not progressing at a clip that they were prior. Their movement has slowed substantially.
So they're 5 miles ahead of us.
So the river in front of you again is not very troublesome in terms of being able to cross in this particular section. So if you wanted to cross and continue, you would not be really held up by much.
Well, we may as well continue. If we stop for anything, he's going to keep going. He's going to get away.
Yeah. So I'm sure he's well aware of where we are, and maybe if we get lucky, he might think that he lost us or something. So I agree, let's continue.
All right.
Before we go, Junie, I'm going to. Where is it? I'm going to cast Pass Without a Trace.
Yes.
And I'll stay at the rear end of everybody. Oops. Ignore that, please. Thank you. But yeah, I'll stay towards the back of the group and just kind of keep Pass Without Trace up so that he can't really detect us.
So basically, to keep everyone's butt covered while you
Yes.
stealthily approach.
Ye-
Okay. So you cross the river and you begin to proceed on your way down this way. And as you are getting to the next small little section of water, you can see that the woods around you are getting a little darker and a little more webby.
Webby, you say?
Mm-hmm. Potentially like some of the webs that you may have seen in your explorations prior to locating the were-pumas in their little area.
I would like to call forth my familiar and send them on a little scouting mission.
Fair enough.
I want to make sure that these potentially much larger cousins of my familiar are intent on letting us pass by lest they be brutally destroyed. So yeah, spider goes out, spider sits on web. How can it tell how close they are? How many things they are?
It's able to determine from the web, as far as the web is connected, that there's dozens of spiders around in the vicinity, but you also can sense that there's a lot of other beings of various wilderness type animals, some humanoids, and maybe even like an orc or an ogre and a troll, that kind of stuff that's been caught and are effectively ensnared in the webs.
Okay, helpful, but not to the degree I wanted. I recall the familiar and then relay that information to the party.
Interesting, so many things being in here, but why would he go in here too?
Last ditch effort to kill us.
Possibly.
I mean, he is a local hunter, so he probably knows the wood pretty well. So if he knew where this lair was, maybe he intended to lure us in here. So yeah, last ditch effort to kill us.
I don't know. I think there might just be something more, because normally you don't walk into a giant ass den of spiders. Especially ones that can take down ogres.
I mean, they kind of big.
I mean, yes, fear is a powerful motivator, but I don't know. I just have a feeling that it's not all it seems, but we have no choice but to move on if we want to stop his potential threat of screwing over everyone else, because he really does not care.
Oh no, he got bit. Look at the turn that he made.
Yeah.
He got bit by something. Something carried him back here.
Did he get bit?
Who knows, man? Like, look at the circle that he made. He wound up 5 miles back away from where we started. He could have kept heading north. He came across this this trail or the fork. He started heading east, and then he just dropped south.
Fair point, but we don't have any way of knowing unless we go in and make sure.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Either way, it looks like we're probably in for a fight if we're stumbling into this nest.
Yep.
So... Alright, cool.
As a
Let's
note,
go.
everyone, just be ready with a quick escape plan,
I got one.
because normally I wouldn't do this, but we might have to burn some things.
All
You
right.
can always create a distraction too. Let's go!
So I assume then everyone is going to proceed into the spider's lair / den.
Yep.
Yep.
You progress forward, going deeper into the webbed trees and all of their interconnects where the webs have been drawn between them to make somewhat like walls to catch things on. Some segments you can easily make out spiders high above in the trees in the darkness. And in some instances you see the husked out forms of things caught in the web still. Nothing yet that's been the right size or shape that you would discern for Marcellus.
I have an idea that might help us lure out our prey. How far away are we from, like, the entrance to this thing, or are we already in it?
You've come inside. You're probably about, I'd say maybe 30 feet in to the entrance.
Okay. So we're not too terribly deep in there. How far ahead to the nearest, like, the far wall or back edge of this claimed area that I can see? Or is there, like, a small clearing area where, say, a person could stand?
There is not. As you're kind of coming in beyond 30 feet, you figure there's maybe about 10, 15 feet until it starts to turn to the right.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. I would like to cast. Let's see. Absolutely nothing, because I don't want to waste a spell slot. So
Okay. Duly
I
noted.
changed my mind.
Okay.
This might be more handy later. Backtrack.
Fair enough.
It's getting to be
Anybody else
nightfall.
got a plan?
You said it's getting close to nightfall, right, Junie?
Correct.
All right. Let me just see. I don't remember. I don't have a lantern, unfortunately. But I will light a torch, just so that we can have some light, because we're going to need it. So I imagine the undergrowth and the canopy is very thick where we're going. correct?
It is getting pretty thick, yes, as you're getting deeper in from the entrance.
Okay, yeah, so I light a torch.
Okay.
So that we can more easily see
All
as
right.
we're moving in. I don't have much else because most of my plans would involve causing, unfortunately, a massive forest fire, and we're trying not to do that.
Duly noted.
I use the light cantrip just to get a better ball of light to also help. Just center it a bit above my shoulder. Just to help make sure everything's visible for two people that can't see.
Okay.
Normies.
Uh, As I'm getting this torch lit up, and we actually see strands of this web, right?
Yes.
I turn to Ash. Are you able to tell us what kind of spiders we're dealing with by chance? I know it's a long shot, but
I mean, I don't have a spell for that, but
Give me your nature check.
wow. What a good druid I am.
So druid. So you are able to determine that this is some kind of mutated form of giant spiders, to which you're not really able to tell. There's no clearly documented variation or mutation of these breed of spiders that you're aware of. But they are in fact large, and you haven't quite encountered them like this previously.
I just, I kind of turn to them and relay that big ones, nothing I've ever encountered before, and that's saying a lot considering I live in the woods.
yeah.
What
All right.
these things are, they're not normal spiders.
All right. All right then. Everyone, keep your wits about you and just pay attention. If they're using a web, then they're going to be stealth-based predators, as all spiders are. So we're probably not going to see them before they see us. Azzy, you want to take the lead, or should I?
As he kind of readies his shield and draws his sword and says, "I got it." It's the stay
Alright.
close behind, right?
Yep. The rest of you, probably Caster afterwards, and then Ash and Talia in the middle, and I will bring up the rear.
Yeah, definitely want to keep me in the middle because then I can keep a lookout around us as well. Because remember, I can see in perfect darkness.
Yeah.
And detect pretty much all these suckers. So
Ash
Look
can
at-
as well.
Pass without a trace up too, so we'll have +10 to our stealth checks, and we can't be tracked except by magical means. So
Yeah. Pretty much want to keep Ash and Talia in the middle since they have the best chance of seeing something.
we have some very stealthy plate wearers in this party, especially as much as pass without trace and invisibility get cast.
But
On we go.
Yeah. Speaking of which, in preparation for the coming engagement, I would like to cast Mage Armor on myself.
Go ahead. 'Tis done.
Yeah, but do y'all have night eyes that can see through magical darkness?
No, I just thought left out when I mentioned you and Ash having night eyes.
yes, I do forget that you are an ASMR.
All right, so as you begin to make the bend and progress a little further, Go ahead and give me a stealth check. And Azzy, I guess because you're in the lead, I'll have you roll for yours first.
Oh, sorry, it automatically does it.
Yeah, but yeah, I have to do plus 10. Oh, you
Yep.
are. Yep.
Yeah, it's plus 10.
So basically 20 for yours.
22.
And 13 for Ash.
Stealth time.
14.
No, I rolled
Seven-
minimum 17.
I just
Alright.
want to point out that you got a 7. You got a 1, and you still got a higher point than me and Knockers both.
Yeah.
You have the highest of everybody here, I think. Oh,
Yeah.
other than Nazi.
For stealth, yes. She has the highest innate score.
This roll specifically.
No,
Like,
I have the highest score here with if we're counting this roll.
you were 22.
Yeah,
I
I
got a
mean,
10.
does anybody else here find it funny that the glowing cleric of Bahamut is the person with the highest stealth roll?
I did monk things and shadow cleared myself into the corner. It's fine.
I'd also like to point out that this is one of Talia's best suited roles, stealth. She has a +6, and she got a nat 1. And comparatively, strength is one of my best rolls, and I also got a nat 1 for the
Or for a
same
great
score.
night.
Yeah, this fight, we should cut our losses.
So, as you make the corner, you see a spider that is passing by from the webs on a band between two trees that makes no motion or intention of your presence. It simply keeps on going. Looking at the small pathway that is ahead of you now between the webs, there's a section that then goes forward for a little bit and cuts back to the left, which is where that spider was headed. But otherwise, there is no other real direction to venture that doesn't involve trying to go through webs.
And do the tracks, I imagine, continue towards that path as well? That's already open?
So the tracks kind of haven't really been here anymore.
Uh-oh.
Even better.
So if Ash casts locate plants and beasts, plants and animals, does it detect multiple tiny spread out chunks of werepuma everywhere?
It depends upon what she's looking for, but
I don't think we have the time for that. Everybody, this looks bad.
So, are you going to continue forward? What's your game plan?
We kind of have to, because we just don't know. Besides, if we end up fighting these giant ass spiders, we're probably doing this for us to a service.
Real quick, I'm going to cast invisibility. And since it's automatically cast as a 3rd level spell, thank you, Warlock. Who wants to be invisible with me? Stupid question, Ash.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'd probably be best to get you two invisible.
We're both invisible now. Because, I mean, that would just kind of somewhat cancel out the disadvantage you guys are already having due to heavy armor.
Mm-hmm.
But we kind of want people seeing the heavy armor people to protect us squishy people. I'm saying you're a target, guys.
I'm well aware.
Yay! You're a fire-breathing target.
All right. So everyone is now disguised / stealthed further. Would you want to proceed further in? What are we doing? How are you shaping this out?
We probably continue in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. As you progress forward and start to loop a little bit to the left as you make yet another bend and switch back, go ahead and give me another stealth check, please.
Ready?
Yes. Azzy's in the lead, and I assume that with invisibility, Talia and Castor basically don't really have to roll in the first
Ash.
place. Ash. Sorry.
Talia and Ash. Yes.
Talia and Ash don't really have to roll in the first place.
I
I
think
wasn't rolling.
it technically just gives us advantage. I'm going to double check on that. Though ruling wise, because all invisibility does at this level is just give you the invisible condition. So
Is Pass Without a Trace still on?
Yes,
Or is it
she's still concentrating on Pass Without a Trace.
Okay, wanted to make sure it hadn't been an hour yet. Because if so, I'm sorry, guys.
yeah, it just treats us as heavily obscured. So unless they're tracking us by sound, I would assume we probably do have advantage then. So
Yeah,
I'll
which is
leave
fine.
that up to GM discretion. So
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, you can roll with advantage. I mean, obviously, I think Ash is pretty good, probably with a 28, but just a
Yeah.
thought. Yeah,
I'll take my
30,
31.
31 is
Thank you.
probably pretty good too.
Where'd Talia go?
So, so everyone's roll is sufficient. The spiders ahead that are kind of not really clacking so much as communicating between themselves, tapping on the webs on one of the trees. They basically are unaware of your entrance or your presence as you take the corner. They are ahead of you probably about 25 feet and slightly off to the right-hand side. And to the left, as you have rounded the bend, you're able to discern a human-sized or potentially Marcellus-sized individual that's been encased in web.
Yum.
Want to back out?
I ain't no bitch. Let's figure this thing out.
We need to confirm if it's them before we leave.
Agreed.
How far is that figure?
Figure is probably like 10 feet to your left, attached to the wall, maybe like 4 feet off the ground.
Any spiders between here and there?
No spiders between you and the individual.
No spiders that we can see.
As he will, I guess, make his way towards that since he's in front.
Very well. So you make it to this encased figure attached to the web.
I'm like scared to touch the webbing because isn't that how they fucking communicate? If I do this, don't they just know that we're here?
They already know that we're here. They're trying to find a good time to attack.
Could your tiny spider open a hole in that webbing? 'Cause we don't need to take him
Excellent
with us.
question.
We could just open up a spot to see if we can see him.
The concern is that I don't know if calling out my familiar will break the invisibility, and I can continue maintaining invisibility for a very long time, up to an hour. So, yeah.
Would bringing it to you count as casting a spell?
That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I mean, technically, it doesn't describe as calling the familiar as like actually casting a spell, but it's doing some pretty obvious shit. Kind of like,
I would also kind of think of it like this: if you were to pull out your spider to basically open a gap in the web for the spider to effectively discern whether or not the being inside is a particular person, that would require you to remove a substantial amount of the web that's encasing the individual before you'd be able to tell that, because they can't exactly just climb inside and be able to be like, oh, there's your face, you're so and so, because there's no space. It's like, you know, the person's wrapped up in the web. If you were to break a hole in the web to get inside, you can at most crawl around in the small
yeah,
gap.
it's
You wouldn't have vantage to tell who the person is from the spider inside.
yeah, it's not like cracking open a hollow pumpkin. It's more like opening a roll of cotton candy and jigging for the straw in the middle.
Okay, that answers what I meant then. Yay. Now I know.
So spider would not work.
As you, I'm not seeing any alternative other than just cutting this guy out. Is that a fair assessment?
So long as we take appropriate defensive formation measures before we begin.
I am 10 feet away from you all.
I'm closer to you because I'm going to watch your back while you do this.
I think 10 feet is probably okay. Let's
I'm
just make
almost-
sure that we're not all super separated.
I'm closer to Azzy getting ready in case something attacks him to strike at it. Keeping while he does this.
As you'll take a look around the webbing to, I guess, verify that there are no actual spiders attached to what he's about to cut open, and try to discern where the head would be.
Chest burster. Kidding.
So the head would be at the bottom because they're inverted currently, based upon the mass of the way that the encasing has been set up.
Hmm.
The larger part of whatever the structure would be, like the shoulders, is towards the bottom.
Okay. And spiders, no spiders?
There are no spiders in the direct vicinity, or I should say within at least 15 feet of you, that you are able to tell are there.
With the point of my sword, I'll kind of dig into where the head is and kind of just slit downwards to
Okay.
let the webbing kind of fall off to the sides.
Okay, so basically you kind of went in more or less by the face and then kind of went down with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Running the edge of your blade into and down across the webbing, you find that it kind of peels back easily. And the gravity of this individual in the case slowly letting go, his head kind of slides out a little bit. And you can see a kind of ghastly shrunken face, as if they've been partially consumed by a spider.
Yeah.
And from their neck you see a ebony amulet hanging down, ready to fall towards the ground.
Take the amulet. Take the amulet. We can just return it to our wizard friend. That's his
The
anyway.
amulet now cursed.
I'm sure the wizard will know what to do with it. It's
Um,
the gesture that counts.
Well, no,
just
that's
to be 100% clear, my hands are covered in gauntlets, so no piece of my flesh will be touching this individual. However, I do scrape the amulet off of his neck with the tip of my sword and drag it closer to me and pick it up.
Okay. So as you are grabbing the amulet and pulling it up and holding on to it to then, I assume, stow in your pouches or some manner of holding on to it, you feel a foreboding feeling, like something is currently watching you. And moments
Wow.
later, a bunch of spiders descend silently from the treetops above to the ground floor.
Yeah, kind of guessed.
In the
Think we have
split second, you have the option to flee or fight. Should you decide.
What would be our only open avenue for fleeing, though?
Running back the way you came. So far on your way in, you didn't really run into anything. The spiders descending from the canopy are not behind you, so your way is not shut in your ability to try to run away. But if you choose to run, you've got to do so in a relatively quick fashion. Otherwise, they will be upon you.
Not too keen on fighting these things.
Yeah.
I mean, they are just kind of being spiders. So
Just leave.
flee.
Yeah.
Holy shit! The party's actually running in a D&D game. This
We'll
is
take the
new.
easier
I'm
way
breaking
out.
ground here, guys.
No, really, you.
I feel like we just got handed an ex machina.
Mm,
You have a chance to flee. Okay. Bye.
so give me athletics check, everybody.
Oh, sweet.
Shit. This is where Talia dies.
I have one of the highest fucking scores and I get a fucking 11. Is this payback for the 2 crits I got fucking last week?
I don't know. Is the game deciding that it wants to give you shitty rolls? Maybe it is. So, to everyone's fortune, as you begin to flee, nobody trips.
Oh, thank God.
As the footing of the ground is, woods, but strewn with some extra bits that you weren't really sure were there in the first place, but now are pretty sure that they're there. So you successfully evade the onslaught and begin to run out of there. Spiders don't really show any signs of chase. And after about maybe a mile or so of running and looking over your shoulder, you determine that they are not, in fact, chasing you.
Good.
But you have put some distance between yourselves and the camp. You are back over the, I guess I'll call it the southernmost river crossing. And you are somewhere near the riverbank of the northern river crossing. And it is now nighttime.
Alright. We should probably camp. It looks like some of you are kind of exhausted.
Yes, please. Much tired. Speech fading.
Alright. I'll begin collecting firewood and things like that so that we can have a fire going and that we can see more. And then after that, I'll begin setting up my tent and helping the others that need it.
Very well.
As he quickly assists in the making of the fire, and as soon as it's adequate light, sits down with his cartography tools and maps out exactly what just happened to a fucking T, using his keen mind feat if necessary. he wants a 100% replicated map of where this spider nest is, and the actual path that we took to get inside, because I'm sure it won't be the same when whoever comes next
Fair
comes.
enough, fair
But
enough. So
this,
so in your quick time-consuming task, let's say it'll take you probably an hour to 2 hours to complete what you're trying to do because of the level of detail that you're trying to convey.
It's gonna come out looking like a Tolkien original.
Yeah, you very handily recreate a shaded with chunks of graphite and coal and charcoal and ink, a variation of grays and darks to get a lovely picturesque representation of some trees with some spider webs and a bend and another bend and a husked body and a couple spiders that are in front, a couple spiders above, and the surrounding glen that you then ran through for about a mile.
okay. Specifically, I'm trying to get the area on the map.
Right.
Like, because I want to be able to give this information to the fort and tell them that, hey, there's a nest here. So it's not so much like, okay, yeah, what's a lake right in front of me, but yeah.
Yeah, you want to be able to document it so that someone can come back and take care of businesses.
I think he's mostly letting you embellish it like what a lot of old world captains did with there be serpents here.
So there's a big ass fucking spider serpent cresting out of the water in the middle of this forest. and future generations came to call this particular clearing the Azzy.
Motherfucking
The
river
Azzy Den.
spiders.
The Azzy Den. Okay, thanks.
Yep, no problem. Many millennia later, they would make a television series called Spider Monsters, starring a particular reality TV series host going through forests hunting spiders with a fishing rod.
So while as he's doing that, as I said, I'll set up my tent. I'll then set up his since he's busy doing this, and I'm pretty sure I'm easily able to tell what he's doing with the map.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
once
won't
he sets to it.
disturb him since it is important work. I'll do that, and then I'll help the others as they need it.
Very
You
well.
want to help me fall asleep very quickly? Okay, tell me a bedtime story, Uncle Dragon.
I thought that was going a way different area.
Yup, I did too for a second there. Like, hold me. Okay. There once was a rogue who went into the woods. She had not liked the woods. She came out of the woods alive, and she was happy forevermore. The end.
The end.
Also, she had to swim but couldn't because she can't.
But got wet anyways. The end. Okay, so so effectively everyone is camped. They have supped on some quick meals, nothing crazy. The tents have been made, individuals have made maps, the fire has been stoked, and I suppose if people would like to do watch rotations, now would be the time.
Yeah.
I'll take
First watch.
No, second watch, I guess.
Are we breaking it into thirds or fourths?
I'd say thirds.
You could do thirds for this.
Okay, I'll take last watch then.
How are the cleric spell slots looking right now?
I only used 2 for some healing on you guys.
Okay, so you should probably be able to get rested enough to recover. So
Yeah.
Right, no, he's taking first and then he's...
And I'm taking second.
Or
Ash is
second.
on first.
Right,
But
but
yeah,
the idea
I'm
is
fine
that
for rest.
full rest is just 8 hours of doing minimal stuff. Keeping watch is not overly taxing from what I remember.
As long as it's spread across enough people, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Either way, yeah, Talia is going to conk the fuck out, curled up
You
next
did
to the
good today
fire.
with tracking. You take your sleeps.
I have 1 spell slot remaining and probably about 2 brain cells after that terrifying encounter with spiders.
Very well. So first watch comes. And nothing of interest happens.
Sweet.
You're right. I mean, it's a good watch, right? Second watch comes around.
Of course, it's got to be around. How else is it going to fit on your wrist?
Exactly. I mean, I guess you could put it in your
Staples.
pocket, but... second watch, also nothing eventful happens at all, other than the usual hushed din of the forest at night, with animals
Have
kind of
peace
doing
and
their
quiet.
thing. And apparently you get some charges back.
Is it considered a long rest or a short rest?
This is
Long.
long compared to the amount of time you're spending. And third watch comes. And nothing happens.
Okay. I'm hitting my long rest button then.
Go ahead and hit the long rest if you have not yet done so. And it is now morning. Everyone is up and about, packing things up. And the world is now your proverbial oyster.
So, we
You
wanted
have-
to.
Yeah, you have an amulet.
Yeah.
You have a griffin feather. You have an individual that lives in the hills that effectively you made a deal with and traded. You have a fort of hunters that have been duly warned, but probably need to be warned a little more. And you have a dragon's tooth that you need to also find, as well as a scale of a sea serpent.
So, we want to go and return this amulet, correct?
That's Azzy's goal. He's just gonna follow the river that we're camped next to.
Okay. Let's do that, and then we can head south to the fort afterwards, and then make our way to Canaberry.
Peace. Civilization.
And then back to the wild from where it brings you.
Okay,
Fuck,
so
we still gotta find a dragon tooth.
So you make your way along the river, heading east, and nothing out of the ordinary happens. Sticking to the river is pretty safe in terms of your ability to see things trying to come at you and potentially avoid them if they were necessary to. So you make your way out past the river to the hills, and then venture north to head to the cave where a certain magister may reside.
Yep.
Oh, are we there?
Yes, you have arrived at the lovely home of our halfling mage.
Do
He's
we
gonna
at
have a
least-
different name every time.
Daglas. His name was Daglas.
Douglas T. Farnsburg.
Oh, I thought it was Farnsworth.
Nope. I changed that because I didn't want it to be too much like Futurama.
But
Okay.
I like the Futurama.
Give me a second.
Yes, once we get there, Azzy will look for that trap that they had to dodge the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess step on it this time. I kind of want to see what happens.
So as you approach the cave entrance and you begin walking down, you notice the spot in front of you where the trap was. You
Ash sees this going on, and she sees where this is going, and she just kind of like smiles from underneath her hood and leans up against a tree and just watches.
What was the last name again, Junie?
Farnsburg.
Farnsburg. Thank you.
So as you poise yourself to step on this trap switch, you place your foot down, and at first, nothing really seems to happen, and you're like, "Oh, that's odd. Was it maybe he turned it off? I'm not sure." So in your moment of puzzlement, you begin to hear a rush of air. And go ahead and give me an acrobatics reaction check. So you kind of notice something's off a little too late as you turn to try to get out of the way. But you are vaulted by a gust of air coming up the tunnel that launches you about 40 feet across the clearing.
Jesus.
And you sustain 4 blunt damage for basically hitting a tree.
Or blunt damage, because he must have been fucking high stepping on that.
Douglas, we're back.
Ash just rubs her temples, just shakes her head.
So,
Can I have more apples?
So as that whole exchange went down, Douglas has now appeared at the cave entrance. Oh, it's you again. Oh. Did you enjoy that little deterrent of mine?
Does it reset?
It will, yes, it will.
How long is that gonna take?
When I reset it.
Oh. I walk up to him and I take the amulet out of my pouch and I said, I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know what they did, what ritual magic they cast. I'm by no means a spellcaster, but I thought you might want it back regardless. I proffer it to him, but before he takes it, I offer a warning about the lycanthropy. This was in possession of one of them, it supposedly took their curse, so...
Very well. I will take the necessary precautions. He raises his hand in the air and kind of snaps his fingers at it, and it's gone from your possession and out of sight.
That's so fucking cool. But only when you do it. I say, looking around at everybody else.
It's the power of illusion.
Oh, I know it too well.
Anyway, that's all we really came here for. Unless you've got more apples for me.
Oh, there's always apples. He kind of pulls open a side of his robe and out springs like 20 apples flying onto the ground.
Like a beggar at a fucking food fair, as he's just
He
bent
just
over
waited
with his
down.
fucking shield pressed up against his hip, picking up the apples, throwing them in. Thanks.
This one certainly is about his fruit.
Sailor.
Sailors and scurvy. It's a whole thing.
What the fuck do you guys know?
I mean, I'm just being honest. You either really like fruit or it's just because you're a sailor, which fresh fruit is hard to come by.
Well, very well. I
Also-
suppose be on your way.
Okay, cool. Thanks, bye.
Well, what were you going to ask him?
Before we go, do you know anything about spiders?
Depends. I mean, they're various sizes. Usually 8 legs, a couple fangs. I like to do things with webs. What else is there to
so-
know?
Well, your puma friend
Oh,
kind of got
friend.
eaten by them. I
A
mean,
friend
he's
I
dead,
think
right?
not.
He paid for his crime. He can be a friend now.
Justice
I
was
don't
served in
quite
a sense.
agree, but it's, as it is.
I think what the question is more specifically, as I kind of agree with that, is did you know anything about the giant nest of spiders in the middle of the forest?
I knew of their existence, however, I didn't know of their location.
Gotcha.
If I gave you their location, what would you do?
I may investigate it at some point in time, but it's lesser of my interests.
I don't think I have enough time to copy this map for you. And it might be better used in the hands of those down at the fort who might actually go and do something about it.
Ah, clever wit, this one, yes.
He does have that about him, among his many other talents.
Oh. Thanks for your time. If you make your way down to the fort anytime soon, ask about a map and I'll have one set aside for you.
Very well.
Here, Douglas.
Venture well.
Thank you.
He disappears back into his home.
Give everybody an apple.
I take it and I begin eating it. How good is the apple?
It's really fucking good. It's like the best apple you've ever tasted. Somehow,
DNA
better than the
questions of
last one that you ate. That was the best apple that you ever ate. Had eaten.
ate it. It's
The
canon now.
best apple you ever ate.
Hey, I ate it.
But
Sweet.
what's odd is that the last time you had one of those apples, it was the best apple you had ever eaten. So,
Ash does not
that's weird.
partake in these strange magic apples.
Yeah, I've heard too many stories about strange magic apples and like I don't know, huts in the woods and wizards and
She also refused to partake in his strange tea last time she was here.
Yeah, I didn't drink his tea, but I think the others did. So again,
Hey, you don't feel funny or anything yet, so.
no.
yeah. I
Yeah,
caught
We just
that.
did that guy
That's
a
fine.
favor, alright? We brought back something that was important to him, trivial as though it was. You know, you never know what's gonna come from that. Small gestures of kindness and all that.
2 weeks later, in today's edition of the Neverwinter Harbor Herald, recluse wizard Farnsburg turns into werewolf lord.
But he's a good guy still, so it's fine.
Oh, werewolves are inherently fucking evil.
Says you. He can find a way. I have faith.
Yeah, that rule can go right out the window, in my opinion.
In
Anyway,
today's news,
with
turns
that,
out
shall
Will
we
has
head
been
south?
Dead for 7 centuries, and this is a werewolf, dragon, monster, vampire. That went out of the window real quick. Weird.
I can barely hear you. I feel like an asshole.
I think it's his mic setup.
Yeah.
Where's your
It's been
volume?
weird.
It's already at max. What the hell?
I think what we just need to do is get Mr. Caster or Arvel over there just a recording studio and put him in it whenever he speaks and see if that helps.
Is this better?
A little bit. I mean,
I'm actually bothering with my settings now, so I'll see if I can figure this
No,
out.
it now sounds better. I turned my volume all the way up. Optus is deafening, but you know, I can hear you
Sorry.
normally.
My input volume's already at max, so I'm not sure what's going on.
How loud am I?
screaming, but you know, it's fine.
Perfect. Crawling in my skin. Okay, so I believe we're gonna venture south now.
Yes, towards the fort.
All right.
All right, no more Linkin Park renditions, or I might spit
No
the rest of my hard seltzer out my nose.
Okay, so it's a little shy of noon, so it's still morning. You begin your journey south, heading back towards the hunting fort. As you cross the little river stream that it's turned into as you get near the hills, you continue south and make your way to the fort well before midday. I guess late day, mid-afternoon, mid. We'll call it about 3 o'clock. How's that?
Sounds good.
Let me see if I can change our map here. Hold on. Bear is kind of taking over the mouse, so.
Good
On
job, Bear.
arrival, Azzy will immediately go for the cart and his horse and make sure that they're both okay. That they were taken care of and all that. Nothing missing.
Okay. We're in the fort. You check on your pack animals. They are, in fact, well kept. Nothing has gone missing or has been touched or stolen. So your askings of the particular stable hands here have landed correctly on ears that heeded your warnings.
Good. After which, if nobody else is doing anything, I'll go to that center building, the Hunter's Lodge, was it, or whatever it was, the government building,
So you go to the central building.
and ask for the head honcho or whoever it was. I forgot their name.
To be fair,
But
I
as
don't
he
even
did-
know if I gave them a name, too. So
Yeah. So I asked for that person, and I give them a rendition of the map that I made about the spiders, and I give them a warning.
we will be very cautious. It probably will take us at least a few span to gather enough individuals together to attempt a clearing, but for the moment, we'll just stay well enough clear.
Good. Also, the individual who caused all of this, Marcellus, did you know him?
I did not.
Who did? Did he have a family?
Not around here that I'm aware of.
All right then. What of his hunting parties? Did they ever make it back?
They did, in fact, make it back, yes.
I guess that's all the information I needed.
Yes, thank you. Your warning also did reach us about the happenings.
Good. Also, I should offer you another warning. The hills north of here, keep your hunting parties out of them.
Oh, okay. What type of foul creatures are inhabiting those lands?
Apple wizards.
Apple wizards?
As he looks over at Ash, and for the first time in his life, musters a glare meant to kill, and then looks back at the individual he's speaking with. A very kind-hearted wizard lives there who wishes to be left alone. The reason all of this started is because someone wronged him. I would not recommend playing with fire. Also, and I hand him a second map of the same thing, should he come to you, he will have a name of Daglis. Give him this map.
Very well. We will make it so.
Thank you. Ow, where the fuck is the bar?
Oh, you'll find it in the southeast corner of town.
I was
/4.
gonna- Hey, while Azzy is doing that, I will head over to the tavern/bar and ask the barkeep and a couple of the others I do find in there if anything interesting has passed through in the past couple of days since we've been out.
Very well. Is everyone else more or less going to follow suit? Or what is everyone else planning while they are now here?
Yeah, Ash is gonna trail behind Cobalt after getting glared at.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow along as well.
Yeah, bar time.
Everyone getting drunk at the club. All right.
I'm not getting
Nah,
drunk. I just
no
want
drunk.
information, a place to sleep.
Well, sleep may still be a challenge in this particular hunting fort, but we can check and see if there's any free beds finally.
Yeah,
So
nice.
so rolling into the taverna, a la hunting fort. You basically speak with the barkeep, and they let you know that short of some well-caught hunts and sales that effectively have happened in the past few days, nothing too crazy has been reported or come through this area that they're aware of. So maybe effectively the name of that game is No News is Good News.
Mm-hmm. Which I do enjoy. If that's the case, then what do you have to eat?
We have a roast. Just off the spit.
I will gladly partake in that. It has been
Mm.
far too long.
Very well. I'll get plates for everyone if you're all eating.
Yeah, and I'm paying for them as I kind of motion to everyone in my group.
Mm-hmm. All right. Very well.
So how much money is this going to cost? As I want all of I want the biggest that we can get for us.
Oh, the entire roast.
Damn straight.
10 gold pieces.
Done.
Very well. We see plenty of meat around these parts, so it's not that rare.
Yeah, so roast, and then then whatever vegetables and roots or what have you that you have.
All right. Very well. Very well.
And I just kind of motion to everyone to enjoy.
Everyone, we take up this entire tiny ass little tavern, okay?
Exactly.
I mean, maybe you do. Yeah, you might.
As everyone for our group, I just motioned to them to come on in and start eating, because it's been too long since we've had a chance to actually sit down and enjoy a meal.
Ash kind of sits off in a little corner and gives her squirrel some bread and some roast.
Very well. So the squirrel is sated. It happily consumes the meal it's presented.
And then I send him off to find me something.
Very well. He runs off through the camp, searching.
Hang out and watch the going-ons until he comes back.
As he inquires about rooms to see if there are enough rooms for 5 of us, 6 of us. 5 of us.
Well, if you don't mind sharing, we could make something work.
Sharing what? 1 room or 2 rooms?
We could give you one big room. You could try to fit everyone in there. You don't exactly have the most space in this part, you know.
No, I totally respect that. Just inquiring. I think I'll sleep in my tent.
Very well.
Traveled what? 50 fucking miles today or something?
Yep.
Yeah, it's time for a rest.
The whole journey back. Wants food, wants bed, wants civilization.
You're a little quiet there, Harper.
Food, bed, sleep, civilization, give.
Understood.
I want a settlement big enough where it's actually robbing somebody.
Hmm.
I mean, what?
So the room for those of you that are going to stay in it is 5 gold. Not a whole lot.
Okay.
I'll cover
Okay.
them.
Oh, someone else already did it. Okay.
Sorry.
It's fine. I'll stay in the room.
Very well.
Knockers takes up an entire corner.
I cannot help that I am a 6-foot+ tall dragon man.
I mean, you could if you let me cast the right illusions on you, but that's up to you.
No, then you would make me a full dragon if I let that happen, which could be good or bad depending on where we are.
No, I just
Determine
make you
room?
more
Yes.
slender and small.
Small
So-
dragon.
So everyone is more or less, I guess, settling in then for the evening in the room.
Yeah.
All right, very
As
well.
well.
You got it, Haas. You got it.
So your squirrel returns to you, clutching in his precious little paws a wedding band.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh.
She kind of sighs. Kind of looks at Tosker, and she just slips him and his new wedding band into her cloak.
He gonna get married.
Apparently, he's waiting for that that other broken squirrel lady to come along.
Yeah, that special somebody. In the room, since we're settling down. Oh, Nokris will. I will take out some.
That's as good as I can try to draw to locate where you are. Let Bear will allow me to.
Fair enough. I'll just be reading over some of my notes and scrolls that I happen to have and just kind of looking through those.
All right, very well. Anyone else doing anything this evening, or basically just sleeping after the long day?
As he is personally caring for his horse.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Setting up a tent near the wagon or on the wagon if there's space.
I mean, on the wagon would probably be tough because how can you pitch a tent on a wagon that already has a cover?
Is our wagon covered?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He just sleeps in the wagon.
Okay, all right, there you go.
Don't need a tent no more.
Yep. Puts a little cloth covering over the entrance so that way nobody can just peer in and, kind of lazes about after taking care of his horse.
All right, very well.
Maybe getting totally trashed.
Maybe. And Caster, yeah, that is cool. All right, so everyone passes out and sleeps after doing their whatevs. It's morning, yay! As you give me a Constitution roll. Okay, yeah, you're totally fine. Not even a hangover.
Hell yeah. Azzy is actually waking up early to get everything together, get the horses hitched, get the wagon ready, and everything situated for us to take an expeditious departure.
Very well, very well. So I assume everyone basically gets packed up and we get ready to set out in the caravan again.
Yep, towards Canaberry.
All right, excellent. I was able to get my mouse back. You all pack up and head out. And venture the few hour and maybe some change that it takes you to get to Canaberry. So you roll back up into town, 4 or 5, maybe 6 days later from when you had left.
Mm-hmm.
As he will immediately go to the building where he reported the missing trader and see if that trader ever showed up.
No, he never showed. I have to fear the worst. The investigation continued onward, and we thought maybe we had tracked the bandits based upon some other robberies, let's call them, that took place on the trail. I think maybe their location might be to the east, but it's hard to really tell. There's too many back and forth, so there may be a smaller camp to the west as well.
How far?
Oh, probably at least 50 miles or so.
Like, right on the edge of the fucking other side of the forest? Holy shit! God damn.
I don't know, maybe. You tell me. If you were bandits that are going to be attacking people moving back and forth on the trail, where do you think you would set up?
So the bandits actually made an appearance again.
Yes, they've been a little active. Nothing too much on the west side, at least, but there's been more action to the east than anything else.
Well, the east's not a direction I intend on traveling anytime soon, so, unless there's a high bounty on it, afraid we're gonna have to move on.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that no such bounty has really been levied beyond a minimal 15 gold we usually post for information in regards to these kind of occurrences.
Very well. I don't know. Nobody here goes hunting without going to the hunting fort first, right?
That's correct. The hunting fort is definitely the best and the easiest location for them to stage from.
All right. Well, with that, as he will, I'm gonna go to the markets and peruse until everybody else is done with their shit.
Very well, very well.
Yeah.
Just hanging out with the horses and the cart and Dave. She doesn't really have anything to do here.
I will take a look in the market, see if anything new or interesting has come in since we last were here.
Very well.
mostly looking for possibly a newer weapon of some type. If this if this town or city, I'm not sure what Canaberry is actually denoted as.
Probably a town still.
Okay. So I'm more looking for things of interest, or if we need any supplies versus an actual weapon, since I don't think anyone will have anything of real merit than what I already have.
Quite true. Yeah, most of what's here is trade goods related to hunting and outlands and wilderness kind of survival stuff in the most common availability. You may find some things from time to time that are a little harder to come by, but that's definitely not the case currently.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. As he's back at the fucking cart.
Okay. Got 3 people at the cart. 2 more people. What are you doing?
Stayed at the cart the
Chillaxing
whole
at the
time.
cart. Okay.
Leaping as much as I possibly can. I cannot emphasize enough how much Talia is going to be completely and utterly exhausted. Her normal exercise is walking from home to market or to guild. That's like maybe 2 or 3 miles in a day, top.
Well, you didn't complain, so that's plus. At least audibly.
She was too
I
tired
mean,
to
I do have
complain.
telepathy. I could have been complaining, and maybe they just didn't want to acknowledge the fact that somebody was speaking in their minds. But that's up to them. Anyways, Talia's passed the fuck out in the cart with whoever else stayed with the cart.
Very well. So everyone is now back at the cart. You are currently in Canaberry. It is still early to mid-morning.
Mm-hmm.
What do?
Well, we got a dragon burrow to check out.
Yeah. I was gonna say I didn't find anything of interest in the markets, did I?
No, you did not.
Okay.
You thought maybe you had discovered a new recipe. However, you found out that it was actually the same recipe from before. It's just that someone had thought it was new, that someone else had made up this recipe. And there was a big to-do about who made it up first.
I'm
But-
not getting involved with that. They're not trying to steal it from each other. I don't need to get involved.
Fair enough.
Until one of them breaks the law, I don't need to get involved.
Understandably so. Well, I suppose if there's nothing else going on with that, then you will set out on the trail, headed towards the barrow.
Yeah,
On the road again.
since that's where we got our information to head to
Mm-hmm.
from Alistar and Phineas.
Correct.
Yeah, let's get to this dragon barrow. Dark Tank Crypt I can do. Creepy ass woods. Long
Alright.
marches for several days. No.
Were these the right
So-
kind of dragons though in the barrel?
Yes.
Yeah, they should be, because you don't need a specific tooth
Oh, I know the
unless.
type of dragon tooth. that
Yeah, if you could get I believe I said green dragon's tooth, it would save them some time in the incantation. However, any tooth will do.
Right.
Okay, I misunderstood what we actually needed for that. I thought it was that it had to be a green.
No. Mostly, if they wanted a green, they would prefer a green dragon's tooth, but it's not necessarily. And the green dragon came into play because it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to fight a green dragon because they're normally in swamps, and swamps and armor don't mix.
No.
All right. Well, so we set out from Canaberry, and like I said, it's a little past early morning, so it's like mid-morning. So you get a fair amount of travel in for the day. You're able to make it down to roughly about this vicinity in the first day, which is nearby where your favorite inn is stationed. I want to say I want to say the wayside is actually like right there. So you're able to make it to the wayside in your travel, assuming you would like to stay there versus sleeping in tents or on the road, or potentially traveling through the evening trying to make it to the barrow directly.
Yes, please. Talia walks right in, orders rooms, and proceeds to the wine cellar because she knows exactly where it's at.
It's like you've been here before. Like you've
Mhm.
owned the place.
Briefly.
Oh, I guess we're staying here for the night. Let's get the horses set up.
Very well.
So,
So you get the horses unpacked and stabled.
yeah,
and you
I'll
set-
take a little bit to take care of them and clean them
Sure, excellent. Yeah.
and groom them and all that.
Mm-hmm. And you make it to the inn, so there's food and drink. I assume everyone more or less partakes to some extent.
Yeah,
Food,
definitely in
drink.
the food.
All right,
We're
excellent.
starting to get closer to my precious, beautiful civilization.
Does the Wayside Inn, do they have any news for us?
Well,
Regards to
only that they've
killing
heard.
Irons?
Only that they've heard of bandits on the road in the vicinity, but otherwise, things to the south seem to be doing quite well in Leyland.
I was gonna say, did Leyland explode again yet?
Oh, no. The magical proceedings are going well in play, and things are coming to be. They've almost got a fully functional sphere again. Planar
That's good.
beacon.
A fully functional planar beacon would be an economic powerhouse in the region, so hell yeah.
Yeah. Any news from Fandalin at all? Nothing weird going on there either?
Nope, nothing strange. Ever since the routing of the various cultists from the vicinity, things have been somewhat normal again.
I guess I'll ask the proprietor, do you have anyone under your employer who comes here regularly that knows the area to the relative northwest of you, near the edge of the forest and the high road?
Well, maybe Timothy over there. He does a bit of sheep herding, and he might venture that way.
Thank you. I'll head over and go and talk with Timothy. Timothy, or do you prefer Tim as I kind of sit down?
Call me Tim.
Alright, well, Tim, the proprietor was kind enough to give me your name as someone who might know the area that sits between the high road and the edge of the forest to the relative northwest of here.
Yes, I do graze the animals up that way.
Do you know of any place to the northwest of us by about, 20 miles as the crow flies that is named the Dragon's Barrow, or kind of what's in that area if it's not known by that name locally?
I've known that there are some ruins and stones up in that area, but I'm not really sure what it might be called, or really what its purpose is.
Anything weird ever happened by those ruins, or have you not really ventured there?
I haven't ventured too close, mostly because the animals don't seem to want to go that direction anyways, so there's no point of it.
Makes sense. As I take a swig of ale. Do you know anyone who has been into them or been around them?
I can't say that I do. I'm sure there's probably some children or others that may get up to mischief trying to search through things or be the gallant knight slaying dragons and all that manner, but otherwise, not much.
I kind of laugh at that. Any local legends about the place?
Nope. Mostly, no one really knows what it was or why it's there. Only that it is.
Interesting. Well, thank you for your time. And I motion to the server for an ale for him.
Very well. But thank you.
Not a problem, thank you. And then I go back to my group and I share my relevant information. So, speaking with some of the local herdsmen and shepherds for the area and the proprietor of the Wayside, it seems that no one really knows much about this Dragon Barrow that we're going to, other than its ruins and stone at this particular point, and it's just there, and no one really knows why.
Oh, good. So we'll be going in blind again.
Yeah, I was hoping we could avoid that in some way, but apparently not. It seems people do not take into account history in some manner.
Why would you think some random country bumpkins near Fandalen would ever take history into account?
Well, it's not so much that. I was hoping there were local legends because things like that tend to get that. So I was hoping at least that would come up, but no. They're not even cultured enough to have legends or stories. They're
Nah.
just like put up.
Fandalen people will be all about the mines and the mountains to the south of the east. That's their jam. They're not about some stupid crap in the woods and down over there by the ocean.
I know. I had to try though. It's like the only source that's close enough besides Neverwinter.
You are very true. Yeah, that is very true.
Well, what's life without a little adventure, right?
Yeah. Life without adventure would be very different.
All right. Well, I assume that everyone is going to hunker down here for the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Is anyone doing any other spell preparation, itemization, brewing, crafting, thinking, scrolling, scribing, reading, dancing?
I will do some crafting / brewing for the potion regents that I have still.
Okay. Go ahead and give me that medicine roll.
Will do.
Ash will just start taking some notes and stuff in her journal.
You finish 2 potions.
There we go. Okay. Let me just change this that I have here. So this goes down to 2, and that goes up by 2. Perfect. Okay, cool.
Excellent. So you doing a little reading, you said, Ash?
A little writing, just journaling.
Little journaling. Okay, fair enough. And everyone will sleep for the night. And we will pick up next week, the morning after, and the preparation of the journey to the Dragon Barrow.
Mm-hmm.
Going in blind, doing it live.
Yep.
Yeah.
This time we're not really going to have a chance to run, I feel.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to